Hey guys, and welcome to a quick breakdown of G2's Sejuani mid. Now I just got home from the LEC, I just cast the game, but I did want to do a breakdown for all the people on YouTube. So I don't want to piss around, but let's just get straight into the game. I think the beauty of G2's draft, I think they talked about it in like the interview afterwards or something, is you're playing Sejuani mid with a melee jungler, and that melee jungler can farm quick and also is very like hyper carry-ish. And your mid laner can afford to give up waves. Also, mid is always really free gank. I know it sounds a bit stupid to say gank in pro play, but you have a really easy setup from mid, so it's not as obvious as a jungle gank, but you can like QR through lane and Bel'Veth can come from the side. So it's pretty dumbed down. Now, G2 did a really interesting strategy. They late invaded red to stop Elise from 3 camping, because what they would want ideally is to do Raptors red Krugs, hover into bot. I think Larson knew that they would try some invade because he's here, and then it makes it so the Heimerdinger lane can't push, and the Bel'Veth has to start top side to get red, and then she'll be later to contest in the Elise because she's on blue side. That's why blue side's pretty strong, because you can be first to bot. And if you would say like, hey Caedrel, why can't he do bot camps into bot? Because he has blue and he loses 1v1 to Elise, so it's not worth it. Plus then Elise can fight Bel'Veth and then go through mid and contest his red. In some cases, maybe not this one because they have Olaf, but yeah. This is a really smart late invade. Stop them from getting to bot first. And I think the whole plan is choreographed because Broken Blade then just kind of psycho runs through top into Wolves, knowing that's Malrang's next camp, and forces him off of it, knowing that he's going to get chunked out here, using his HP. Has Ghost, they have no lockdown CC, so he can kite them no matter what. And his whole time here is just to buy time. I think G2 do a small blunder here. I actually think Yike shouldn't focus on stealing this wolf. You don't get level 2 from the wolf. You get level 2 from all of the wolves. So if he can let him have the big wolf and just take one of these small ones away, then Malrang has no smite. And then there's no threat of them taking the blue buff, if that makes sense. So I don't want to say it's a big mistake, because I think that they're already off to like an insane lead. But I think that's how you optimize it to be like really taking Elise out of the game, because now he just smites the blue, gets level 2, tries to kill him with Cocoon, level up, and then Malrang realizes like, I don't have mid push, because if you go back, they realize they don't have mid push, because what happened in level 1, well, Larson was here, and Caps is Wing the wave, so he gets it in quick, so he can get Prio first. And level 2 Sejuani is just better than level 2 Chase in some cases if he has E. He realizes he can't invade, he'll get claps on by solo lanes, and instead he runs top. Smart gank by Malrang. Wave state not great for Broken Blade. He's half HP and half mana. No flash, no ghost. I think he had to use a lot of that towards the invade to make sure that the Eye could get ahead. Smart from Broken Blade not to give over any kind of like experience or... Well, no, he did get experience, I think, but not like an assist, right? Don't give the Elise a kill. Give it to the tank. But, I mean, what can Malrang really do at this point? I'll go ×2 speed. Because if you just keep your eyes on the minimap, like, Bel'Veth can finish her red. She'll be at 20 CS. Then she can do 4 bot side camps to get to 36 CS, and that's excluding the fact that he can maybe double crab. So Malrang here realizes, I think Bel'Veth's on my bot camps. That's what he says. He thinks that Bel'Veth did red Raptors, maybe went down here and is on this. So 1, I want to gank top, and 2, I need experience. I don't have any top camps. I don't want to walk into this and face check just in case. Let me just sit in lane because I'm quite close to level 3. And if Bel'Veth comes, I can counter gank it because it's a push out and Shigen has no flash. So he's covering 2 options. He's covering option number 1 of losing his red and needing level 3. He's covering option number 2 of Bel'Veth being top side and trying to gank top. So kind of smart what he does. Base is in a weird spot. I thought maybe the Cassante would need a bit more of a push out there, but just flips it and says, fuck it, I'm going bot side. He covered enough of it, I presume, to the point where he's strong enough to get the wave in himself. Larson just oversteps here. The wave's under tower. There's no need to chase this. He should just hover bot scrap right now for Elise to make sure she can get camps. Or like if she wants to invade. There's no point in trying to like trade that aggressively. And then yeah, he gets hit by the slow. He could flash, but I don't think it really matters. He's dead no matter what. They get the kill. And this just fucks Malrang even harder because he didn't even take his bot camps yet. And Yike realizes like, wait a second, this Elise didn't take her bot camps. So they get so much information. There's the double crab. And then hovers bot. What he's doing here is, it's very common in pro play. When the enemy jungler is going to crab, it's very common that the enemy jungler here, instead of contesting, let's say this is not warded, he can run down and gank your bot lane while you're finishing crab. This is, if you keep your eye out for it, you'll see it a lot in pro play. So he's just sitting here in case Elise tries to do some kind of crazy shit and get towards bot like this. Around somewhere. I just drew a dick. And get towards bot. So yeah, he covers it off. Goes towards his blue. He's a little bit scared where Malrang is, but he gets sweeper, sees Malrang, has a ward on his entrance, and then he goes to blue. And now he can start power farming, and it's 8 CS to 28, right? What is that, like 2 camps to 7? 8, now he just finished blue, so... jungle is lost. And when jungle is this lost, it impacts the map, obviously. Not in the sense where your jungler loses and that he can gank more, but in the sense that... your 2v2s and 3v3s are just really swayed despite lanes being even. So what Malrang does here is he kills the big one, new patch, the little ones will die anyway and the camp will reset. And he runs top because of the wave state. Now, I think he just fucks up this play because Broken Blade has no flash. I don't know why he's repelling in first. Maybe it's because he has Ghost, but I feel like he should just be looking for Cocoon. I can kind of see it, to be honest, but here I was thinking maybe like a flash Cocoon somewhere is better and then repel his Ghost, but he thinks the other way around. And then they get a kill top, they get a push out top, and Yike is just getting so much experience, level 5 to level 4. To be honest, and then I need to talk about Caps real quick. Watch what Caps does, man. He just pushes in mid and runs spot. Like, in pro play, it's very uncommon to make 2 plays at the same time in the early game. Normally, you're 3-man diving bot, or you're 3-man diving top, or you're cross-mapping, you know, like you're diving top, they're diving bot. It's always just like a trade-off, but it's a game state where they can counter-gank top and dive bot. That's a game state where the game is absolutely flawed, lost, doomed, open. And I think what you can see here is if you watch a lot of pro games, just watch the minimap a lot. Watch the minimap here. Look where G2 pings. Very smart pings. What they're doing is, I think Yike is pinging Elise out of base timer. Look, he just pinged. She's here. And then she'll probably be like here in a sec. She could be around here. This is like the area she's in. So G2 need to back off. They're getting warned. They don't know where Elise is, but they're pinging. He's kind of guesstimating Elise's pace out of base and warning his team with pings just to keep it refreshing in his mind. So really good dive. Crazy that G2 can pull this off. Let's skip ahead. They get Drake, I believe. No, they don't get Drake. Yike is basing. Small gold lead. I think the experience lead should be way bigger. He's only a level up, but we'll see that in a couple more minutes that he should be way further ahead in levels. And Malrang's playing Elise 0-1-0. No ganks have worked. Hasn't really done much. Elise is a champ where the longer the game goes on and the less impact you're having, the more doomed the game is because your champ just doesn't scale well. If you're against a jungler like Jarvan, let's say, as Elise, and they're not getting anything off either, it's fine. You know, it's not optimal, but it's fine. But if you're against like Bel'Veth, Karthus, Nidalee, and they're power farming and you're not, then it's doomed. 2v2 kill bot. Trimmy no flash. I think it's just well played by bot lane. Just level up from 6 from hands. Catches off guard. I don't think he gets the level up to get the ult, but I think Trimmy just missed positions. Good kill. Mickey puts towers down. And comp is chunked out. This comes from the lead that they get in bot from Caps' dive. And Caps is playing Spellbook. Caps' job is just to push waves and roam. That's the only thing he wants to do this entire game. Yike forces Malrang's flash. Not sure how worth that is, but I think it's okay. If they have this much map control, his flash will only ever really be used aggressively anyway, because they always have numbers advantage. And Broken Blade's job is just to go even. He was kind of screwed at the level 3, but he was kind of saved by a Yike at the level 7, or the level 6, I believe it was. But now the game plan for G2 is just simple. Yike catch midwaves, power farm, and on Windows, Caps will threaten bot dives. If Yike can join, great. If Yike can't join, it's not the end of the world, as long as they know where Malrang is. But the Jace is just not having any impact. What can the Jace do? Like, he's hitting the Sejuani. She's not taking damage. Her passive's up every time he wants to push in the wave so he can tank their damage. And then you can just run down here. And the thing is, you might say, why isn't Larsen matching? Why isn't Larsen coming bot as well? Why isn't he just ignoring these creeps and running? Well, he can't. Like, they have no vision. They see fuck all. If Yike is here or anywhere in the spot side jungle, Larsen is the one who will die. All they'll do is just turn onto Larsen. They know he can't move. Even with the waves dead, he's just standing there. He can only really TP in. That's his only way to bot. And now he's thinking about it, and he's looking like, maybe I should TP. So he says, I probably have enough time to push this wave in, because you can see by his mana bar that he's pushing in mid. You'll see it here. He's probably just swapped forms to Q, and now he hammer form Q'd the wave. But now he's saying, okay, the wave's coming in, I'll probably TP the second they start the dive. I'm TPing now. But Broken Blade is there, and you can see watch his HP. He gets chunked like fuck. And then he arrives and he's 1 HP and he just dies. So that's unlucky as fuck. Trimby's already dead, being dove between 2 towers because Caps and Yike are roaming down and he can't get out. Malrang can't fight them 1v3. Hans is just chunking them. Heals out of tower range. They pop Herald to tank because they know what'll happen here is Comp will proxy the wave, and the only one who can gap close is Hans, but then he can execute. So Yike pops the Herald so he doesn't have to tank the tower. But Hans is easily in range to get the kill. Really good play by G2. 9-1 in kills. The game is basically done. You are... I don't know, you have how many plates now? 5 plates in bot. I think they get a total of 14 plates this game. And yeah, it's the same as playing any mid jungle that has playmaking. Let's just swap it around. Let's imagine this is Akali Sejuani, you know, or I don't know, Yasuo Sejuani, any kind of melee mid with a Sejuani jungle. What you need to do is cover their side lanes. But instead of covering for the mid, they're covering for the jungle, because Yike wants to hover here and take camps. Caps is going to be here to make sure that if anyone catches side waves, they just pounce on them 2v2 because they win so hard. I'm going quite quickly through all of this, so I hope it's like digestible information. I just want to show you how they fucking destroyed the early game and why this is such a powerful tool to have. Now, the only issue you have with it is if the Sejuani roams don't work and your bot lane can't get the push, then it becomes a bit more complicated, because then you have to bring your support from bot into the equation, and they have to sack up waves to make sure your mid laner can push. Let's imagine Caps is playing up against Azir. You know, he gets pushed in a lot harder. So he either has to give up more and give more to the enemy Azir, or he needs his support to help him push out to threaten more kill pressure on the Azir and have three-man ganks on a pincer to get that mid push. Okay, so that's when it gets a little bit more complicated. I think the Jace really can't get push ever. Just feels like I haven't seen like a wave where Larson is like decisively getting push. I mean, Caps has lost 1 plate. But I don't think Caps would mind giving up too much. They get top tower. I mean, Yike's just getting so much fucking gold funneled into him. It's disgusting. He's even getting some of these creeps. Kraken Slayer going towards Wit's End at 50 minutes into the game. He does Herald. Like, what Yike is doing here is he's a fucking sponge. Take enemy jungle, take Herald, take Drake, take enemy Raptors, take my own camps, take waves. And Caps is just there to escort him. If anyone wants to fight him, Caps is there. And they win 2v2. What are you going to do about it? You need some kind of cross map. You either need some kind of split push or hard engage on a 5v5 to stop them from doing this. But they have nothing. Koi don't really have any of that. They have a bit of poke and good early dive and a little bit of a front line, but not really. So they don't really have much action. No real lockdown CC. G2 can just kind of stand there in their face or in their head and just fuck them up. So they get a 10k gold lead. Koi don't really have a way back into this game, but this is just a short form breakdown of how G2 got themselves ahead and how they dismantled Koi to the point where this game is just over. I think this would be a remake in scrims, to be honest, by like after that bot dive when the TP came in from Larson and they just got basically 4-man killed. That's a quick pause. You kind of lose hope in these kind of games. The only real... I think players get tilted when the game is out of their hands, right? I don't want to say tilted, or I'd say lose hope. And when the game's out of your hands, it means the only way you can win is if the enemy makes a mistake. But, I mean, at the highest level, it's very rare they make mistakes to this degree of lead, right? 10k gold lead, it's, you know, very rare that it'll happen. Sometimes does, though. And G2's game plan, the safest thing they could do now is just stack Drakes, hold River Vision, and kill them on face checks. The most aggressive thing they could do now is push out one lane with, like, the Olaf, move towards mid as 4, and just full-on dive them. But I don't think they go for any kind of crazy dives. What they do is they just keep pushing out their jungle, rinse and repeat. The way the Bel'Veth scales is it's exponentially. You know, you catch them on side lanes, you take their jungle camps, and it just gets faster and faster and faster and faster because you get further and further and further and further ahead. So this is the way to execute a melee-ish roaming mid style with a carry jungle. This used to be a meta in 2019 in scrims when we were scrimming in the LEC. I think it was... G2 was doing it a bit. I think Fnatic was doing it a bit, if I remember well. I think it was with Nemesis. But they were playing like Xin Zhao mid, Xin Zhao jungle, Sejuani mid. I can't remember which teams were doing it. I think Misfits was doing it or something. And it was actually pretty powerful. We tried it out a little bit. It was back when things like Kiana and Pantheon were strong, I believe. I just can't recall very well. But there was a time when in a place where teams tried this, but it wasn't as heavy of a bot push meta. It was... I think it was like a Xayah Kai'Sa meta, and it was I think it was a bot dive meta, actually. That's why people started trying it, but something about it didn't work. I think it was something about Pantheon being meta, or maybe Sejuani was just not that strong of a champ at the time, or Xin Zhao got nerfed. Anyway, maybe someone can figure out the patch notes and digest and dissect why it fell out, but some teams tried it and it worked. But then teams dropped it eventually. Maybe it was, I think it was Trundle, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to rent. I'm going on a rant, and I think it was Akali Trundle is the reason it stopped. And those two things counted it way too hard. Akali Trundle, when you're playing Sejuani, fuck me, it's fucking annoying. Anyway, G to get Baron, what do you want them to do? How can you walk in? It's impossible. You just die. Their Baron's already really quick. And then G2 just basically end the game. So, I hope you enjoyed that quick breakdown of G2. I'm gonna go to sleep now, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Much love. Thank you for all the support on YouTube, and if you liked the video, subscribe. Ooh, I love saying that and being a sellout for my own channel. Look at me go. I'm such a good influencer.